Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for checking out this video here on Shows, Style, and Spirit. I am Ebony, and I want to talk about Claudia Jordan. She is speaking her mind regarding Martell Holt and how he tries to publicly embarrass some of the men that he co-stars with on Love and Marriage Huntsville, and definitely tries to reveal what he calls to be true secrets about their personal lives. And I want to get into what she has to say. Now, before we do, I ask that you please hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. And everything that I'm saying in this video is alleged and just my opinion. And the Copyright Act of 1976 says that my fair use commentary on this soundbite is allowed. Okay, so you may have checked out my video that I made on Sunday about Martell having a scene with all of the men of the show, including Marsau Scott, and they brought up the origins of their problem, so to speak, and it was when they created the company Scolt. And Martell said, oh, he couldn't find a job and he wasn't working at the movie theater anymore. So I said, well, I'll start this company with him to help him out. Then I don't want to be a part of it anymore. And, Marsau basically said that Martell always thought that he was better than him, which I don't understand. How do you remain friends with someone who thinks that they're better than you? But he also talked about how he's not going to be quiet anymore. He admitted to holding his tongue after Martell did not like him making a joke season 1 that Martell was a busy bee in his marriage. So he basically obeyed his earthly father, if you will, only for Martell to betray him anyway. So now we're going to go ahead and get into Claudia Jordan giving her commentary on that scene, and then I will come back with my commentary.
That's what I think is the root of all that. Again, you can't start a story at the end, in the middle, or at the end. You have to start at the beginning. And the root of their conflict came from Marsau. Marsau laid it out. He laid it out. He told jokes about something that he thought was fodder amongst the group. Lighthearted jokes. Martell took issue with that because Martell was facing a lot of accusations, right, which belonged in his lap, but he was facing a lot at one time, and he decided to act out towards Marsau in that way. We saw him go way far with that. Accused Letitia of sleeping with other people at certain times back in the day, bringing up things from back in the day to try to make them look bad, right? Bringing up guys that said they had a sexual relationship with her at a time when she was an adult and single and able to do so. Bringing up the fact that Marsau was managing that movie theater to try to diminish him or look like he was at a low earning job and was seeking some sort of relief and help from Martell in partnership with him on Scope. That's why he brought all that up. You're bringing those things up to make him look like he needed your help at one point. These are things that have nothing to do with literally the root of your issue. And so all that deflection, all that, the accusations he threw, while you can ask questions about the fidelity of Marsau and Letitia Scott, you could ask questions about the fidelity of their marriage, but that don't have shit to do with what Martell did and what he took umbrage with Marsau Scott for in the first place. You ain't gotta like Marsau. You ain't gotta like Letitia Scott. You ain't gotta like them. You can have very real feelings and opinions about the ways that they have shown up in other relationships amongst the cast. But if we talking about Martell and Marsau, the fracture of the relationship we were presented with, Martell is at fault. That's just what it is.
I'm going to say this about Martell. If I was any of the male cast members on this show, I would never confide or tell him anything ever again. He's the type of person that when he's on the hot seat, he's going to blow the whole thing up and bring everybody down with him. He can't just stand in his truth and his lane and say, let's just talk about, like, they can't, you have a conversation like about you. You got to be, well, you did this, well, you did that, well, you did this. Well, fuck it. If I'm going down, everyone's going down. He reminds me of the scene in the movie, Why Did I Get Married, too, with all the dinner table, and everyone's like, oh, okay, we telling secrets? Well, why don't you tell your wife about you're taking, antibiotics? Oh, okay, we're doing that? Well, why don't you say? That's what Martell is doing. That's his whole thing. And yes, he was in the hot seat for a long time from his own actions. And now that he's not so much on the hot seat like he's been in the past, He's feeling himself a little bit. So now he's like getting everybody back for when things were rough for him. That's what it feels like to me. It seems like he's like, the way he did that, like, I know this guy code, right? And, you can't trust someone if in good times, all the things I tell you now, or you're going to just put me on blast on television like that to use it in a tactic to win a fight. I only would do that if it's someone I never, ever, 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 ever care to ever be around ever again or be cool with. That's when you burn the whole thing down. Like, he's still kind of like 1 foot on, he's straddling the fence. Like, I don't get how he's like going scorched earth on everyone like that. To me,
my thing is too, Claudia, like, what the fuck we supposed to do with that, right? If anything, nigga, you laid up in the room while they was fucking these other women. You was going on trips with it. If what you're saying is true, you are just as complicit. And don't tell me about it now when you was all right with it before your shit hit the fan and before your shit came out. I can't stand people like that. You just as bad. That don't make you look more pious or make you look like you are you have any integrity. You kept the lie going as long as it served you. And I can't stand motherfuckers like that. Don't tell me something somebody did to me or how they wronged me when you were all right with them wronging me allegedly. You know what I'm saying?
You in the room laughing about it before,
like
but
that.
now, no. Yeah. He does give that he's crashing out right now, but he's trying to act cool. And like, I even notice how he answers questions. His voice goes up. That's a sign a man's lying. Okay, a person's lying when their register goes up like that. And he's like, he's just interested in trying to humiliate the other men. And that's his defense mechanism. And that's very similar to what the housewives do. So
okay, so I want to talk about what these two said. And again, I know that Carlos has had some not so fabulous moments on his Monday Night Live show with some of his on-air talent. We all know who it is. So Gucci and Akeisha, both former stars of Bell Collective. Yikes. But him linking up with Claudia and Dustin for his podcast, that is a great combination. They do have good chemistry. He has had some more on-air talent on his show in recent weeks, particularly Maurice and Nell, but he knows he needs to steer clear because it can go left on a live broadcast, but when it's just the three of them, things run a lot smooth. So Claudia and Dustin, they both described Martell perfectly. Claudia even said, in her opinion, it's giving that he's crashing out. Oh, Claudia, dear, I can tell you ain't been watching this show, honey, because no, this is Martell Holt. This is who he is. If this is crashing out, well, he's been crashing out for the past 7.5 years. So, girl, this is who he is. This is who he is. Since you have to review this show, Claudia, I suggest you buckle your seatbelt, honey. Buckle your seatbelt because this ride jerks from side to side. And don't eat nothing too heavy and don't mix up your liquors, okay? Because you will be throwing up after watching scenes with Martell going crazy on folks. But she said, he is the type that will just burn. And she said he's just going scorch earth on everybody because, he always complained about them. When you go back to season 1, like people would be so mean to Melody, like Kimmy, but Martell stayed dragging Kimmy, calling her a side chick. He did not like Marsau, Tisha, and Wanda. He would drag them from all the way from season 1. Melody would want to try and make amends with them, and he didn't want to. I remember a scene I can't help but laugh out loud when Melody is planning the birthday party for the girls and she's going over the guest list, and then she mentions MJ, I don't know, I think he was there too. MJ, Macy, and Mila. And Martell's like, how you gonna get there? Because he don't want the parents there. So he's always been salty and funky towards these people. And I don't understand, how do you help start a company with somebody that you really don't like? But yes, Claudia, he didn't never like them people no way. So he was steady collecting secrets or collecting bones so that he could just drop them and deliver them as he sees fit. And I think even if they were never, ever, ever on a reality TV show, He would have gone berserk on them anyhow. He would have been telling their business some other kind of way all over the Huntsville streets. And Dustin was saying it too. He said that Martell was complicit from the beginning because Martell, when that video that he and Coleslaw made with that young lady, when it came to Maurice and Marsau, he's shaming them, right? He's trying to depict them as cheaters. But when he would speak about being on the trip with them, and he said that, you know, he was not intimate with the girl because I never go behind them. They come behind me. He was saying that in a bragging way. It was toxic masculinity. Like he was bragging about that, you know, when he gets some, if anything, his friends, they get with the girl after he's been with her. He was saying that like it's a flex. So Dustin is absolutely right. At one point, he was complicit with it, but now that he's mad at them and he wants to spray them with their ish, now he's acting like it's so disgusting and so shameful and so embarrassing. So, of course, Carlos just sat there. He's not going to indulge in anything in terms of commentary on his shows. He probably also gets a kick out of that because he knows that people are annoyed when he has such lengthy commentary on other shows that he does not produce, but he reserves his opinion for his own shows that he produces. But definitely when it comes to Martell, he's not going to say anything derogatory because he too doesn't want to deal with Martell's smoke either, that crazy smoke that will just scorch the earth, like Claudia said. But what do you think about Claudia and Dustin's commentary? I imagine that Martell will never be on Carlos's show as long as Dustin and Claudia are there. At minimum, definitely if Claudia is not there, because we know that Martell, in my opinion, he's more comfortable trying to disrespect men than he is with yelling at a woman. He knows that he really can't win an argument with a woman. Women are far more intelligent and will totally clock all of his BS, the manipulation, all of that. And she even spoke about, you know, she felt like he was lying when his voice would rise. So they clocked it all. But I thank you all so much for checking out this video. Please hit the like button on the video and subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so. We are all again going to have a terrific Tuesday. Whatever you have to do tonight to have a smooth morning, go ahead and do it. And I'm speaking to myself right now because I do need to make my overnight oats. And lay out your clothes tonight, set your alarm, try not to snooze in the morning. And while you are watching your favorite YouTubers, grab your bottled water or grab a banana or orange and get some of your raw fruit in you and some water, and you'll be glad that you did. And I will talk with you all soon. Bye.